I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Martial Arts Real Talk. I have a very special guest here with us in the studio today, Bill Superfoot Wallace. Bill, thank you for coming.
Thank you much, Dave, and happy to see all you people out there, and I hope you enjoy what we're going to talk about today, because it's all lies. But no, you'll have a lot of fun.
The first question I want to talk about is, where did you get your start in the martial arts, and what is your earliest memory about that beginning time?
Well, number one, I was a wrestler in high school and college.
Okay.
And when I joined the service right after high school, I was stationed at my permanent Air Force base up in at Wordsmith Air Force Base in Michigan.
Okay.
And I'm there, and I'm going, well, God, I want to find something to do.
Right.
So I walk over to the men's gym,
Okay.
and I walk up to the front desk and said, "Excuse me, but do you guys have a wrestling team here?"
Okay, so
the guy says, "Well, I don't. Would you let me talk?" We're going to have fun. But anyway, so I walk into the men's gym and ask if they have a wrestling team. And the guy says, "Well, we don't know what it is really, but there's a couple guys in the back walking around with white suits throwing each other all over the place." Well, this is 1963. This is way before that we know what judo or karate is or any of that stuff. So I walk in the back, and these 15 or 20 people are just getting ready to work out and throwing each other around.
Okay.
So I said, "Excuse me, but do you guys have a wrestling team here?" And the guy gets up, got a black belt on, a white coat on, and he says, "No." And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." He says, "You wrestle?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And he says, "Well, I'll wrestle you." So he takes off his coat, takes off his belt, and we wrestle. And I take him down a couple times, put him on his back a couple times, and I said, "Well, thank you." He says, "You're welcome." I said, "Now," and he says, "Put this little coat on, and we're going to wrestle again." So now this is called judo.
Right.
So I put this little coat on, and we tie up, and I get what is put on flying status. Flunk, flunk, flunk. And I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what are you doing to me?" And he said, "Well, this is called judo." And I said, "I like this."
Yeah.
So in 1963, I started judo.
Okay, so when you first walked in and you said that he wrestled you, he was wrestling.
Yeah.
Didn't try to use any of his judo on
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't know, but because I dropped right in and took him down real quick.
Gotcha.
But I was a good takedown.
Right.
And he just said, "Okay, now we're going to start the my way of doing
the process. His way.
And that day I started playing judo.
Yeah.
And I had a ball. I had an absolute blast. So we're working out, and that year, our team won the second Air Force Team Championships.
Wow.
So yeah, it was pretty good. I would like to think I contributed a little bit to it.
Oh yeah. So you're not someone who just did judo passingly to get started. You were good at it.
Yeah, I felt good. Yeah, because of my balance and wrestling and so forth.
Right.
And
picked it up
if
quick.
you've ever been in the service, I'm talking to your father and your uncle and all these other people.
Yeah.
There's two things you can do when you're in the service. One is to find something to do when you're off time.
Right.
The other one is to go get drunk.
That's
Basically, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't drink.
Right.
I never have. So my job was to go find something else to do.
To occupy that
off
time. Yeah.
And the off time, I played judo.
Okay.
So and I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Wrestling is still my first love.
Because that's where it all began.
Because where it all started.
The foundation. Yeah.
But judo is very similar. Understand, judo is to wrestling as karate is to boxing.
It's that foundation.
It's the very foundation.
Yeah.
If you think about it, the very first sport, the very first martial art was wrestling. You have a piece of meat, I want it, I grab the piece of meat, we grapple around for it.
Right.
Grappling.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you grab it, I punch you. So we have the second one is probably boxing.
Yeah.
Because, no kicking or punching.
Right.
Then the third one would probably be, more than anything else, probably be Kobudo.
Okay.
You're bigger than me. I try to punch you, it doesn't work, so I grab a stick and beat you with a stick.
Start attacking with a weapon.
Yeah. And then it evolves from there. It's a big circle.
Yeah.
But I started with the very basic one, which was wrestling.
Okay.
And then I got into the judo aspect of it. Then when I was stationed in Okinawa, I'm working out judo there because that's all I wanted to do.
Right.
And I hurt my knee really bad. I tear the knee up.
In judo. Okay.
And I'm in a cast from my hip all the way down to my ankle. Oh, terrible! Yeah. I have a new knee now.
Oh.
but anyway, I'm there and in a bad mood because I know at that time my judo career is probably over, because there was no such thing back in 1965 as arthroscopic surgery. It was called exploratory.
Yeah.
And I'm walking around in a cast, and a friend of mine in Kadena says, "Hey, there's a karate school downtown. Let's go check it out."
Okay.
Okay. So we go down to the karate school. Kadina's right outside of Naha.
Mm-hmm.
So we go downstairs. Go downtown. We walk into karate school, and these people are training.
Okay.
And this guy.
First time you'd ever seen anything
First time
like
ever,
that?
yeah. And this guy, well, wow, this is neat. And the guy comes and says, "You want to do karate?" I said, "What?" I says, "You want to do karate?" And I said, "Sure." He says, "Oh, you come." I said, "No, I got a bad knee.
Mm-hmm.
I get cast from my hip all the way down to my ankle." He says, "No problem. Stand up."
Okay.
So I stood up and started doing low side kicks.
Okay.
Yokogiri, side kick. And I did about 14,000 of those things.
With just that one leg?
Just that one leg.
Worked it, yeah.
So, everything's done. So I go home, back to the base.
Right.
Next week I come back to watch again. He says, you back. Yeah. He says, stand up.
Oh, no, yeah.
I said, now, we do Mawashigiri. Okay, what's Mawashigiri? He said, roundhouse kicker. Roundhouse kick.
Yeah.
I said, okay. So I did 14,000 roundhouse kicks. And after a couple months, 3 or 4 months go by, the knees all healed up and everything, and I'm working out in class.
Right.
He says, now, we're going to kumite. Okay. What's kumite? We're going to fight. Huh? Because at that time in Okinawa, everything was strong, power.
Mm-hmm.
Every block was designed to break.
Yeah.
Every technique was designed to kill.
Right.
So you go, whoa, I don't know if I want to do this or not. No problem. We have kimi.
Mm-hmm.
What's kimi?
Focus.
Control.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're moving around, we're sparring back, and I throw in a round kick, throw in a side kick, because that's about all I knew, because I had to take it easy on the knee.
Right.
And I throw the side kick, he backs out of the way, and I bring the heel around,
right.
and hit him in the chest with the heel.
He hadn't shown you that, though.
No.
That was, yeah.
And he backs, what'd you do? I go,
like you messed up or something?
I said, well, I threw Yokogiri,
Mm-hmm.
and you backed up, so I just brought the heel around to score with the heel. He says, very good, Urama Washigiri.
You did it instinctively.
Yeah,
Shown.
Well, because that's all I had.
Yeah.
The kicking that I do is because my right knee is bad,
right,
and I have to protect the knee, so I'm sideways.
Mm-hmm.
Now, side kick comes from the side.
Mm-hmm.
Funny thing, because it's called a side kick.
kick.
The roundhouse kick comes from the front leg,
right,
sideways, because that's how the knee comes up.
It's designed, yeah.
And the hook kick
Brings it back.
is just a sloppy side kick.
Yeah.
So all 3 of those techniques come from being sideways. And now if you think about this, my back fist is from the side also.
It's a perfect
Yep.
fighting stance.
And the ridge hand is from the side also, or the hook punch.
Yeah.
So why do I have to change? I don't have to change from a front stance, a horse stance, Zikujudachi.
You're there.
I'm there. I'm already there. And if you look at some of the top boxers now,
right,
they fight sideways. Floyd Mayweather fights sideways.
He's hard to hit.
He's hard to hit because that shoulder protects.
Yeah.
So what happens is, the basis was all there, and the beauty of it is, in the basic karate training that I did in Okinawa,
right.
they didn't try to change me.
They just let it go.
Yeah, they knew I had to protect the knee.
Right, and so they built off of that.
They didn't.
You did, right?
Yeah, because they don't know. I mean, they don't know what hurts. Just
right.
like when we're working tomorrow, nobody knows. The instructor doesn't know. The helpers don't know what hurts you when we do the flexibility. Right. You can tell me that hurts. Well, what part hurts? Well, so you just have to play with it. Change it, modify it somehow
to work for you.
To make it work for you, and that's what I did.
Okay.
And when the kickboxing started,
you were all in.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, when kickboxing started, hard. We're going to go full contact to the knockout. So everybody puts their hands up like boxers do.
Wide open.
Well, look at everything you see to hit. Now what do you see to hit? Now there's only the head.
Yeah.
And as soon as you even flinch, boom, the head is gone, the shoulder comes up. So I'm out of there.
Yeah, protection.
So that all comes from that very first part with the judo training, getting me in with the karate training in Okinawa. Okay. So the fun of it is, it's always changing.
It's evolving, yeah. It's
always evolving, and the knee's strong now because I got a brand new knee.
Right.
But also I've had some other injuries, like 4 hips. But hey, 2 hips and then revisions.
Right.
So, but I like to kick, and ironically enough, when people say, "Oh, my kicking's done because I got a new hip," my kicking is as good as it's ever been.
Right, because it's solid now.
Yeah, well, now the joint doesn't hurt.
Right.
Now, all I have to worry about now is wearing that joint out. But the joints nowadays are so good
Right.
The prostheses now that they make are so good. The plastic is so strong. The steel, the metal in it is so strong.
Durable, yeah.
And it'll last.
Okay.
Both my hips, the inset lasted 11 years each.
Okay.
Now the
New.
revisions are supposed to almost last forever.
Forever, okay.
So I'll take forever.
I do want to go back and ask this question. In Okinawa, at that time, you said you just walked in and they pulled you onto that training floor.
No, they didn't pull me. The
Well,
guy
they
came up
asked
and said, you want to do karate?
They asked you. Was there any? Did you feel like there might have been any resistance in showing Westerners?
Oh, no.
Or they were just welcoming? Yeah.
Understand, in Okinawa, 1965.
65, yeah. After the Second World War, after
yeah.
the Korean War.
After so long,
Mm-hmm.
the Okinawans realized that they can make a lot of money off American GIs.
Okay.
So all I had to do,
Mm-hmm.
otherwise I have to pay tuition, right?
Right.
But I go back to the Kadena,
Mhm.
and I tell the people there
Right.
that I'm taking karate lessons downtown.
And they all start
And they
coming.
no, and they pay for. Will you let me talk?
I'm just trying to jump ahead.
Quit jumping in. But no, and then they paid for the lessons. I never had to pay for a lesson because the Air Force paid for it.
How about that?
And there were several of us in the class.
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it was
it's
all
great.
taken care of.
All taken care of by the yeah. Well, better than being drunk.
Yeah.
Better than being
Yeah.
drunk, and they'd have to bail us out of the
Mm-hmm.
the break and so forth.
Well, that's very interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, and it's and again the start of what we're going to talk about choices.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have stayed in after I hurt my knee playing judo. I could have said, I'm tired. I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm
Just walked away from it,
Just
yeah.
walked away and said, never do it again.
Hmm.
But I said, okay, let's go check it out.
Yeah.
And then I could have said, no, it's okay. I just want to watch. I got a bad knee.
You can
But
come
I
in
s-
an excuse, yeah.
But I jumped up and said, okay, I'll try it.
Willing to do it.
And then
yeah.
the next week I come back and just, so
Yeah,
and then
then you were hooked, yeah.
yeah, well, hooked, yeah, because I like to kick.
Mhm.
I've used my legs and everything. In high school, I was a leg wrestler. I used the scissors. Those people out there that kind of understand wrestling,
Mhm.
I was a scissor man. I would hook your legs and wrap my legs
Mhm.
around your body, figure four, Roman candle, guillotine.
A lot of power, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. but I would wrap you up and ride you like that.
Mm-hmm. Control too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and pinning combinations also.
Oh, yeah.
So when we started playing judo, my whole thing was using the leg to do the throws.
Okay. And when it was
Yeah.
sort of taken out of the equation.
So.
Okay.